Hey guys, it's me Habiba and welcome back to another YouTube video. So today's video is super exciting because I'm going to be making a costume for the first time. I know I've somehow never made a costume before. I'm actually obsessed with the Disney princesses. I always have been, and Belle was always my favorite. So I've decided to make Belle's dress, and it's not the yellow dress. I'm actually making this dress, which is the dress she wears when she's like not, you know, like a princess. Actually gonna be taking inspiration from this dress that Mikara made. She's one of my favorite YouTubers. She didn't really explain how to make this dress, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to actually show the process in detail as well about how I make it. So let's just get into it. So in terms of fabric, I went to Lahore Center and I got a bunch of like cotton silk. They told me it's cotton silk. Now I'm just believing them, but this is what the fabric looks like. It's actually so pretty and I feel like it's perfect for the dress. And I think I got around 5 yards of the main fabric. I'm also going to be needing cotton for like the underskirt and everything, but right now I've just gotten the blue fabric. And now I started working on the bodice, and basically I used a pattern from this website, which is an amazing website for corset patterns. If you're wanting to learn how to make a corset, I used the Sylvia pattern, and basically I adjusted it how I wanted it because this pattern didn't have any sleeves. The neckline was really different from the one I wanted. So what I did was I basically cut out the pattern in a plain cotton like fabric, and I just made a muslin out of it, and then I adjusted it the way I wanted so that I got my new pattern pieces. So now it is basically just time to start sewing everything together. So these are the pattern pieces all laid out. I've added a light fusing to each piece. So guys, this is what the bodice looks like so far. I've cut out the lining as well. I actually decided to change up the sleeves and make them a bit slimmer. Hey guys, I'm back with another update. So I have completed the main bodice and the lining, and now it's time to sew in the boning. And for the boning, I'm going to be using zip ties, and I'll show you guys how exactly I put in the boning channels, attach the lining to the main fabric and everything else. So hopefully today I will have the bodice complete for you guys. So this is what the lining actually looks like. It's multicolored because I didn't want to use up my blue fabric, and I'd accidentally cut out 2 of the middle panel. So yeah, for the boning channels, I'm going to be using this satin ribbon, which is honestly the perfect color for this. And since it's a ribbon, it's not going to fray on the edges, so it's perfect for adding in those boning channels to our lining.
So here I am just showing you guys how I put those boning channels in. Basically, I took the ribbon I showed you guys earlier and just pinned it into place wherever I wanted my boning to show through. And once it was pinned, I took my zip tie, which I was using as the boning, and marked the width of the zip tie like so using a pencil. I actually ended up using a pen because I found it more accurate. And this is what it looked like once it was fully sewn in. So as you you guys can see, I actually sewed a little bit out of the line because I didn't want the channel to be too small and snug, and I didn't want it to be too loose either. So that's what I did, and I'm actually really happy with it. This is the zip ties. I actually melted them together because they were too short, and here is what the corset's lining turned out to look like. I actually love it so much. I wanted to wear it as a garment of its own. Like, the boning looked so cute, and honestly, like, yeah, I was just really happy with how the lining turned out. And now it's on to the next step.
Hey guys, so update on the bodice. I'm so excited. I got done with the lining. I have all the boning channels in and it looks so good already. Now I'm gonna take the boning out and I'm basically gonna attach the lining and the like main part together. Just like stitching on here and just attaching them together so it looks really seamless. And once that's done, I'm gonna put the boning back in and show you guys how it looks.
So here is a montage of me sewing the lining to the main fabric of the bodice. I basically just sewed the neckline and the sides like near the armhole, and obviously this took a really long time because I wanted it to be as neat as possible, and it actually did turn out really neat, which I was so happy with. And then I just took my boning, which was the zip ties that I melted together earlier, and inserted that in.
Okay guys, so after a couple of days now, I am done with the corset. Well, by done, I mean like almost done. Like, I have to do the bias taping at the end and some of the finishing, but it's mostly almost done and there's hardly any days left to Halloween. So I want to get my costume finished as soon as possible. So today I've decided I'm gonna finish the skirt. I don't know if that's actually gonna happen, but that is my decision, my goal for the day. So I've decided I'm gonna do a circle skirt, and it's super easy to do. Basically, you measure your waist, and your waist is basically going to be the circumference of that skirt. So you would put in the formula for a circle to make the circle skirt and to calculate how to make your circle skirt. I think that sounds really confusing, but basically if my waist is 26 inches, I would do 26 equals to 2 pi r. So basically we have to find r, and after calculating that, I'm gonna show you guys what you have to do to make a circle skirt. So I'm gonna put in 27 just so the waist isn't too tight. 27 divided by, so we have 4.269 inches, so 4.27.
So here I am starting on that circle skirt I just talked about. Basically, I took all my fabric and I folded it over twice, which was actually really difficult because there's so much fabric, but I finally ended up folding it really neatly. And then I took that calculation that I just showed you guys on my phone and marked it out using my measuring tape, and it basically made like this quarter circle thing, and when you open it up it makes a full circle, which is your waist circumference. So I cut that circle out, and then I also marked how long I wanted the skirt itself to be, and I actually couldn't end up making it very long because the fabric was not wide enough. So I made it 28 inches long and just cut that out, and this is what the skirt actually looks like. It's a literal circle. It reminded me of a donut actually, but once it was cut out, I sewed it together and I attached this waistband, which I had also fused with a light fusing, and then I folded the waistband in half to give a really neat edge to the entire thing. And this is what the skirt looked like. I was really happy with how it turned out actually. And like I told you guys earlier, I had been procrastinating putting together the corset, like finishing it off. And I basically hadn't done the edging. I forgot what it's called, but basically the edging. So I didn't have matching bias tape, and I had to end up using this ribbon that I had on hand. And this is one of the things I actually ended up regretting. I think the only thing I ended up regretting about the costume. But here I'm basically just spinning it on and it just didn't match, but I didn't have a choice. So I sewed it on and then I folded it over and pinned it to the back as well. So the lining was really neat too, and then I sewed that up too. Once it was sewed, I also added in the grommets. So here I'm just marking the grommets, and I think I kept them around 3 centimeters apart, and then I cut out holes using this tool, which I don't know what it's called, but I cut the holes out and then I just like basically smashed those grommets in using a Hattori hammer. Yeah. And one of the final steps was doing the underskirt. By the way guys, please notice how Ravi is like literally following me everywhere while I'm doing all these steps. But yeah, I basically cut out another circle skirt for the underskirt, and I added like a bunch of extra fabric to both those skirts to make them a bit longer. And I also added a lace at the end, and this is what the lace looked like. I loved how the lace turned out, and this is what the underskirt looked like. I was a girl in the village doing alright. Then I became a princess overnight.